Back in middle school until high school, my parents would always drag me to a certain beach resort during the summer. It was a place that started with a K, hidden in many islands of the Philippines. To be honest, I don't really bother trying to remember it, since I swore I would never set foot on that beach again. It was when I turned 14, when I first got to see it. The Drowning Man. The hotel we were staying at had the perfect view of the beach and the wide sea stretching across of what it seemed to be the whole world. During the day, the sand was white and fine and the water was somewhat clear and green. At night, the white sand would turn blue and the water almost black. It was past midnight, and my parents were already sound asleep. I only pretended to be, though, and I was actually playing with my Game Boy under the sheets. I decided to take a break from battling trainers, went to the window, and stared at the moon for a while, and there he was, a silhouette of a man splashing round in the middle of the sea, his arms raised up, waving, and his head shaking around as he goes up and down from the dark waters. I could barely make out his face or any more distinct figures than his shape because of the distance, but instinctively I knew he needed help. "That man is drowning," I shouted, waking up my parents. They got up and saw nothing. The drowning man disappeared. "He's probably sinking right now," I panicked. They went downstairs and alerted the hotel manager to have it investigated. The hotel manager called upon the diving locals and even the fishermen nearby to tell him about the situation. What I found strange was, it seemed like my parents and I are the only people in the lobby panicking. The diving locals went ahead outside the hotel, barely running. The hotel manager gave his sincerest apologies and assurance that it would be investigated. Turning my back to go to the elevator, I bumped into a cleaning lady. Her hair was frizzy and white, and her skin was brown and wrinkled, with beautiful tattoos all over her arm. She was also strangely fixated at the front door of the hotel. Still looking at the distance, she crouched to reach my height. "Ignore the drowning man," she said in a whispering and shaking voice. I was confused, obviously, but for some reason I felt the seriousness in her tone and her intent based on the fear. The next night at the hotel, I couldn't sleep at all. Even though the manager told my parents that the man was saved, it still felt that something was off. Then, past midnight, it was as if it was calling me. I was tempted to look out the window once more. He was there again, the man, drowning, although he was a little bit nearer the shore than the other night. I was confused and frightened at the same time. He was splashing, seemed like he was holding on to dear life. And that's when he stopped, like a mannequin. He froze in position. I don't know why, but chills went down my spine. I pulled away from the window with a cold sweat. I had no idea what was going on, but I simply tucked myself inside the blanket and hoped it goes away. The last night of our stay, my parents decided to get a few things down inside our car parked in front of the hotel. I helped my dad carry a few bags and head outside where the cold sea breeze greeted us enthusiastically. I went towards the car, but stopped as he caught my eye again, the drowning man, but this time he was only a kilometer away from the shore. "Dad, it's him." My dad dropped the bags he was carrying as he saw the drowning man. "Wait here, I'll call for help," my dad told me. My dad seeing him reassured me for a bit. I opened the flashlight and ran towards the shore to get a closer look, hoping to see the drowning man. Submerging my feet into the water, I called out. "Hey," I shouted, "help is coming." Clumsily, I dropped my flashlight and even tried to grab it, but the waves took it away from my reach. The light underwater shined through the murky, sandy water and revealed in front of me what looked like a large fishtail of sorts that quickly swam away. My forehead wrinkled, confused and also nervous. I simply looked back into the drowning man. His limbs completely motionless again. To my biggest surprise, he glided at an abnormal speed toward me like a jet ski. In fear, I quickly tried to get away from the water as fast as I could, trudging on sinking wet sand until I make it back to the hotel front. Catching my breath, I looked back and saw the drowning man stopped about 20 meters or so from the shore. With my mouth agape, I only stared in awe and terror on what happened next. The man raised from the sea, his back revealing a long stem attached to something just beneath him, like a puppet. He slowly submerged and disappeared back into the waters, followed by a scaly serpentine body that glistened under the moonlight. My heart sank with the large splash it made. When the help came outside, it was gone. I never really bothered telling my parents what happened. On the next years we visited, I always kept the advice in mind: ignore the drowning man.